Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. Get ready because we are about to embark on this breathtaking virtual exhibition tour across the rich, really vibrant landscape of Bharat. We're going to look at something truly special today, the ancient crafts and traditions that literally weave a massive, incredibly varied nation into a single, beautiful tapestry.
Okay, let's dive into this. You might be wondering, what makes a country of over 1 billion people with totally different climates, landscapes, and daily realities truly united? To answer that, we're going to explore the spirit behind the national program known as Ek Bharat Shreshtha Bharat, which celebrates this exact concept.
So here's our travel itinerary for today. First up, unity in incredible India. Next, Uttarakhand's mathematical Aipan art. Then, Odisha's ancient Dhokra craft, followed by sustainable crafts of the South. And finally, we'll tie the whole shebang together in the bond we share. Section 1. Unity in incredible India. One nation, many threads.
You know, Bharat has been known worldwide since ancient times as a land of incredibly wise and heroic individuals. Its rich culture has drawn people in for centuries. But it's also a land defined by its stunning geography, right? We're talking rich rivers, lakes, and high mountains, plus green forests teeming with a massive variety of wildlife. All of these elements, working together, ensure that Bharat is a globally respected, prospering nation. And the source text makes a really great point here. As its inhabitants, it's our vital responsibility to keep working hard to make sure it continues to prosper. Actually, a Class 6 student named Renu hit the nail on the head when she was asked what the Ek Bharat Shreshtha Bharat program is all about. She said, "It is to know that we all belong to one nation and that is the bond we share. And our unity and diversity makes us the most wonderful country in the world." I mean, think about that for a second. Even young students fundamentally get that this unity and diversity isn't just some catchy phrase. It's literally the foundation of the country. Section 2. Uttarakhand's mathematical Aipan art. Geometry meets devotion. Let's open our first virtual window and travel all the way up to the snowy northern state of Uttarakhand to meet a student named Akansha. She introduces us to Aipan. It's this absolutely beautiful, highly mathematical folk art based on cultural traditions and a really careful observation of nature. It's traditionally drawn for family functions and festivals, and what's super fascinating here is that this is an art form created specifically by the women of the family. They draw it on floors, inside puja rooms, and right outside the main doors to welcome guests and good fortune. But how do they make these mathematical patterns visually pop? Well, they use Geru. Geru is this traditional, striking, brick red color painted on the floors and walls to serve as a vibrant background. Then, the women use a simple white rice flour paste to draw those intricate Aipan designs directly onto the Geru. The visual contrast is just stunning, and it's so deeply rooted in the natural, everyday materials of the region. Section 3. Odisha's ancient Dhokra craft, casting metal through time. Okay. Let's move to and see how this builds as we travel from the 2D mathematical art of the north to the fiery world of Odisha's eastern coast. We're meeting Priya Ranjan, whose tribe practices a metal craft known as Dhokra, and get ready for a staggering number here, 4,000. This craft isn't just old, it is an astonishing 4,000 years old. Imagine that, a highly technical skill being passed down hand to hand for 4 entire millennia. No way, right? Let's actually walk step by step through this incredible lost wax process. First, they shape a figure with clay, let it dry, and completely cover it in a layer of wax. Next, the artisan carves fine, really intricate details directly into that wax layer. Now, here's where it gets intense. They cover the whole figure with another layer of clay and put it straight into the fire. The heat causes the wax inside to melt right out. Then, they take melted brass scrap and pour that glowing, molten liquid metal into the empty space left by the wax. Once it cools down, they break away that outer clay layer to reveal the finished metal figure. It's like a miraculous transformation right through the fire.
Section 4. Sustainable Crafts of the South. Nature's Bounties Transformed.
We literally just saw Odisha's fiery 4,000-year-old brass metal casting. But as we travel down to the lush, tropical southern state of Kerala, we encounter something totally different: coconut shellcraft. This is a biodegradable, completely organic art form carved straight from nature's bounties. It's a brilliant contrast that really shows just how wide the spectrum of Indian craftsmanship truly is. Chitra from Kerala enthusiastically walks us through this really gentle, sustainable process. It starts by cleaning a simple brown coconut shell, inside and out. Then they smooth it out using sandpaper or a machine, shape it, and fix it to a stable base. Finally, a quick coat of wood polish gives it this beautiful shine. They are taking what most people would consider agricultural waste and turning it into gorgeous bowls and even intricate jewelry. It's so resourceful and 100% biodegradable. Next up, we're jumping over to Andhra Pradesh to open a window to Balamarali in the village of Kondapalli. And we've got another really impressive historical number for you, 400. The Kondapalli toy-making tradition has a rich 400-year history. To bring these iconic toys to life, artisans source softwood from the nearby hills, carefully carving each part of the toy completely separately. Then these wooden pieces are joined together securely before adding the really fine details. The finishing touch, a vibrant coat of watercolors, vegetable dyes, or enamel paints. It is a highly tactile, hands-on process from the hills all the way to that final colorful brushstroke. Now, what's really interesting about this is how they actually join those wooden pieces together securely. They use something called maku. Think of it as nature's super glue. It's a specialized binding paste made entirely from tamarind seed powder and sawdust. They cleverly use natural materials from their environment, even for the glue. It's a true testament to the ingenuity of these local artisans. And what exactly are they creating with all this softwood and natural glue? These brightly painted toys represent really charming everyday themes. We're talking folk stories, animals and birds, bullock carts, and scenes of rural life. They literally capture the essence of village life and bring it right into the palm of your hand. Section 5. The Bond We Share. Ek Bharat Shreshtha Bharat. So zooming out, what's the big picture here? We've seen some vastly diverse materials on our journey today. White rice flour in Uttarakhand, melted brass scrap in Odisha, brown coconut shells in Kerala, and soft wood from the hills of Andhra Pradesh. The materials and the techniques differ wildly depending on geography and local resources. Yet, they're all woven together by this shared dedication to heritage, creativity, and preserving culture. That dedication forms one unified cultural fabric across the entire nation. Which brings us to the end of our explainer today. And I want to leave you with a thought-provoking question. From mathematical rice flour art to 4,000-year-old melted brass, which thread of incredible India are you going to explore next? The tapestry is huge, the heritage is boundless, and there's always more to learn. Thanks so much for joining me on this virtual tour today, and keep exploring.